All right, welcome back. This is a healing through music, but more importantly, healing through gospel segment. I did one, I want to say about 2 months ago, y'all. And that one, I really felt it when I did it. When I delivered that healing through gospel segment, Eddie Kane Jr. moments, I feel like I'm going on, has been resonating with me since. So if y'all haven't checked out that song, y'all sleeping. Y'all need to wake up, check out that song, make sure you hear it, put it on repeat. But beyond that, as I started building on different segments around healing through music, I did one with Wayne Watts around hip hop and how hip hop healed us and saved us in so many ways. I wanted to bring the healing through gospel back, y'all. And I said, you know what? I need to bring Ruth back um, because Ruth is a big fan, lover of gospel music. And I was like, I need to bring Ruth back and let her cook on some gospel music. There's a song that's been resonating with Ruth, and I was like, let's dissect that song. Let's talk about it. So, Ruth, you're back in the building. Welcome back to our space. We're doing a Healing Through Gospel Part 2 for our people. And we shared our similar interest and love for gospel music in our initial conversation with each other. And I felt like this was only natural. Out of all the people I build with, you were the first who was like, gospel is my jam, Adam.
Yes.
Let's go. And I love that energy. So how are you doing? And I guess what is the song that we are going to be dissecting today?
Man, I'm doing great. I always say I can't complain because I really can't. But the song that was on repeat, has been on repeat because as you know, I'm on this healing journey. So I listen to a lot of music when I'm in the gym and driving and things of that nature. But the song that really actually resonated with me this go around was Words by it's by Donald Lawrence. And the reason why I chose that song is because the words that you speak out of your mouth, they can either affect people, heal people, or help people. And I know during my time, I know the words that I spoke out of my mouth were not words of kindness. We'll put it that simple. They were not words of kindness, but I would tear people down. And so, why would I want to continue to tear down God's people? So, I continue to listen to this song to let me know that my words do have power. The things that come out of my mouth do have power. They can either cut like a sword or they can love you like a bow. Wrap you bow with a hug. But it just been powerful for me in that area in my life. So just being able to also understand that when you speak words, you're not coming from a judgmental place. I know for a long time when I get to a place where I have this knowledge, where I feel like I have arrived, I decide to want to tell the world, and then telling the world, it comes with I become a little judgmental. So I have to take a step back and I got to go back to the music that helped me get to the place that I am right now to be able to listen to this song and remind me that my words do have power. My words can hurt people or my words can heal people in a way that, yes, God can heal them, but sometimes you need an earthly body in order to sometimes do that. And God sends earthly people your way in order for that to make it happen. So that's what gospel music is for me, and that's what this word does for me.
I love that, Ruth. And you kind of like answered the question I was going to ask you and just thought process and that, but I could still present it differently because you really spoke about what it is for you. And I share this with you because I think you and I talked in one of our conversations, and I was like, that feel like going on song. I played that 11-minute track from Marvin Winans, and that it just hit me, right? Like I told you, man, that had me crying, boo-hooing like a big ass baby, right?
Yeah.
It's saying that, right? What is it about, in your opinion, your humble opinion? What
Yeah.
is it about gospel music that gets so deep in us?
I don't know. I think it's just the words. It's the words in regards to how God loves us, how Jesus loves us so much and wants the best for us, but understands that life does happen. And you have these songwriters who can come from a place of healing, who can come from a place of comfort, who can come from a place of understanding, who can come from a place of they've been through some things. And the songs that they listen to, the songs that they write about, the songs that God downloads in them to deliver to us, it reaches our soul to where our soul can be anchored in it. And when it's anchored in it, you feel like, okay, I can dust myself off. You know what? I can go another mile. I can go another day. I can go another minute. I can even go another second. But it just touches you in a way that sometimes hip hop and R&B and jazz and all this, it can't hit you the way for me. It doesn't hit me the way gospel does because it also, I feel like it stops you in your tracks. That song just captures your attention. And once it captures your attention, you're saying, okay, let me really listen to the lyrics, just not to the beats, but to the lyrics of this song. And how does it really resonate with what I'm going through? Because if you look at it, when you listen to music, gospel music, there's that song, God just downloads it, He drops it on you at the perfect time. And that perfect time is when you needed it the most. So that's how I see it, how it makes me feel. I get
No,
hyped about gospel music.
I love that. I love that. I love the description you shared. It kind of made me think of like internal restoration, right? Like there's this internal restoration that is happening that only gospel music can get to and do the restorative work, right?
Absolutely.
Because you're right. I think when I think of gospel music and how it touches me, right? And hip hop is my jam, right? That's one of my main musics. Um, Gospel hits a space of my heart that hip hop can't touch.
Hmm.
And
Absolutely.
and I mean that with the whole respect of that I have for hip hop. Hip hop is my absolute love. But when I say that, hip hop, there is songs in hip hop that have made me cry before, have made me feel emotional. But it was certain lyrics, there was music, there was a lot going on for hip hop to capture that feeling in me. This is the difference between hip hop and gospel capturing that part of my heart. Gospel can walk in and the pastor can just hum. He
Hmm.
can just do some hums, right? And that will get me automatic. I'm like, oh, that it's coming. It's coming, right? Hip hop can't do that to me. And I
Mm-mm.
love hip hop, Roof. I mean, I am a big diehard fan. And maybe in my older life years, right? I'm my older head now, and I fully accept that too. Um, Gospel didn't resonate with me like this in my younger years. I
Yeah.
had appreciation and respect for it, but I feel like it's almost like aging with wine, almost this like aging of sorts. I'm mature enough to hear it, but
Hmm.
more importantly, I'm finally in a space to feel it. I
Yeah.
wasn't feeling it before like that. Why I say that is, when you're sharing your excitement and passion, I was like, yes, that is exactly what it feels for me too, in the sense of like the music in general is just my love language, and I love music. Um, and I always tell myself, if I can sing, I can. I can rap, I can spit some bars like crazy. I can't sing for shit, Roof. But if I can, like if they're like, you can sing today, I'm singing gospel all day. From the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep. I'm gonna hit every falsetto note. I'm gonna get deep with it. You need baritone, I got you all right. I'm going all over it because I'm like, if I'm feeling this way just from you delivering it to me, how am I gonna feel if I'm actually the deliverer of that? How
Yep.
am I gonna feel if I could sing like you and the way you do it, right? And the way you capture it. I know, I'm going in the rabbit hole here, but I
Yeah,
guess one of in terms of that, let's go back to your song. Let's go to your song.
yeah, but even
Yeah.
in that, for me,
Yeah, yeah.
like it's always interesting because God wakes me up with a song.
Mm,
My sister makes fun of me because I he gives me majority of time is hymns. You know,
mm,
mine is always the blood that gives me strength from day to day. The blood still works. You know, Jesus keep me near the cross. Oh, magnify. And then I have scriptures that go with it. Oh, magnify the Lord with me and let us exalt his name together. And he heard my cry, he heard my voice. So just being able to wake up and God, and that allows me to know that God woke me up. And then on top of that, he dropped a song to remind me. And
mm,
so, with this song, it's a reminder of the words that I speak can give you life, or they can be death to someone
mm,
else, or even you per se. But it just
mm.
allows it. But yeah, so the time that I wake up, I'm probably singing like 9 times out of 10 when I'm in my car, it's gospel. I have so many gospel playlists depending on what I'm going through. I can just pick a playlist and run with it. I have a meditation gospel playlist. I love you, Jesus playlist. I need the playlist. Like it's so many different playlists, and just
Mhm.
knowing that it it just touches somebody's life. That's what part of the song is, like the words that touches somebody's life. So just
Mm.
being able to listen to that song and somebody being able to just hear that song, I just pray that it does give them life. I pray that when they listen to that song, they'll be able to work on what I'm continually work on is
Mm.
speaking life into people and not death, and not tearing people down, but building them up, because so many people have built me up, and I feel like I deserve to pay it forward and continue to build people up because I've done a bad job. I was a crappy person. I can't even lie, I was a crappy person, and then God just comes in and he changes that, and he just makes me become a better person because he is love. So I am love, so I can love other people.
That's dope, Roof. And when you were talking about that and kind of sharing those insights, I guess and my other thought with just gospel and the power of it, right, and the feeling that it gives you, but it obviously has a very high retention. Like you go back to it, right?
Hmm.
Where a lot of music you might not. You might go back to it because it's nostalgic, right?
Yeah.
There's a certain reach that you go for with music, right? Depending on your mood and things like this. And you kind of share that, but just kind of expanding on a thought here. What is your reach? When you're reaching the gospel, what is usually your feeling? Is it inspiration? I know you said you got a meditation when you got it sounds like you got to reach for different things, but I guess when you're thinking of the comfort of gospel and the music that provides you that consistency, right? In your
Yeah.
routine as well. I guess what does that mean for you and how is that resonating for you when you're reaching for it, right?
Hmm.
What are you identifying in that reach out?
Yeah, and that's a really good question for me. As you were saying that, the Holy Spirit dropped in me why. And the reason my why is because I some of the songs are repetitive in the playlist. But when I listen to certain songs, it reminds me where I used to be. It reminds me who I used to be. And it reminds me of where I am right now. And I can listen to those songs and I can think about the moments of where I was really, really broken, where I was depressed, where I was suicidal, where I had death where my father died, where friends, like, just I allowed friends to just leave my life, relationships were crumbling, and now the reach is a little different because that reach now gives me strength. There's a song that it gives me strength from day to day. It will never lose its power. So, and that's part of still the blood that gives me strength. It's always the blood for me. But that song, like, those songs reach into the areas for me, and I continue to reach to those for strength when I'm feeling good, when I'm feeling down, even when I'm in the gym. I listen to these songs because it helps me get through the day. So it just really depends on the day, but it always reminds me of how God continues to cover me, how God continues to forgive me, how God continues to love me, all of and how Jesus died on the cross for my sins, and knowing that I couldn't pay that price, and listening to that music and reaching and reminding myself if he could do it, I can be a better person. If he could forgive, I could forgive. Let me keep reaching for another song to help me get through this day.
I love that. And yeah, I think when when you're saying the piece of like, it sounds like it goes back to like the reminders, the clarity, all these things. They're so symbolic, Ruth, because like what you're doing with your segments, right? There's a lot of words in that, and I feel like maybe a lot of these messages are coming from you from that higher power per se, right? And that persuasion of push and all that good stuff. It also made me think, for the reach, right? Because we were talking about what are we identifying in that reach for it, right? Because that really speaks to, for me, why am I reaching out to Bob Marley today? Why am I reaching out to Karis one, right? Why am I reaching out to this track today? And it made me think like, for there's a level of comfort which we've been talking about, right? Like there's a level of comfort in gospel music. And when I think of like my reach with I feel like going out on my song, um, it becomes part of the routine. And
Mhm.
that routine there's these words that you need to hear, right? And it's almost like, as a youngin, um, and when I went to church, I wasn't a big fan of it because I feel like the preachers and the preacher wife was very pleasant and maybe tarnished a little bit of my perception, right?
Yeah.
And I think of like, how do I maintain and still get because I am a very spiritual person, right? My mom always used to be when she was alive, she was like, you need to be a pastor. Like, I don't know why you're wasting your time. And then she saw me run camps with a bunch of black and brown children, and she saw me holding down a dining hall. And she's like, oh, you're a pastor already. You're just doing it in this service, right? Why I
Mhm.
say all this and what it resonates, what it brought up for me when you were speaking, Ruth, was like my reach is me trying to get a piece of church that's been missing in my life for so many years, right?
Mhm.
And it's like getting those words. And I used to get those words from my mother, right? God bless you. Make sure you believe in God. She used to always give me those words, right? One of her favorite things, she always used to say, one day at a time, one day at a time, man. Right. And why I say all that is I feel like gospel for me fills that spot that's been empty for a long time. And I almost feel like, damn, it's like when you don't eat something for a long time, then you eat it and you're like, man, that shit was good. I've been robbing myself for years. You know what I'm saying, Roof? You're like, oh, I've been robbing myself for years on this goodness. And not that I didn't check it out or listen to it here and there, I
Yeah.
am really listening to it now. Like it's really entering in here. And I do give a lot of that to my openness to it now, right? My age. I do feel my mother still sends me messages somehow. And I feel like going on is one of those because I tell you, in full vulnerability and honesty, the day I recorded that segment, one, I found out one of my mentees passed away due to health, and he was only 27. So that really hit me, right? And then as an entrepreneur and establishing your business, it's just not easy. And then you add brown entrepreneur and leader on top of that, it becomes a little even more challenging, right? And there's all these different things that you add to that. And I feel like when I when I when I played that song for the first time again, I was at my lowest. I was like, no more entrepreneur, no more segments. I don't need to do this YouTube thing. Right? It was one of those moments, right? And usually those are moments where you call, I call her Mom Dukes, Mom Dukes, hey, and she gives you the gem. Like, this is what you need to do. Sometimes it's just the voice, right? And when you don't have that anymore, right, you have to find some way to fulfill it in some way. And I feel like that day, if Moms was alive, I would have called her.
Hmm.
But instead, I went to YouTube and played that sucker on repeat,
Right.
right? And that was the healing through gospel for me. That was like really like real talk, heal talk, healing through gospel, right? And so I only share that because what you were sharing and bringing, and I'm a processor, as you know, it just made me really think of that moment. Like it brought me back to that moment of where I was at, why I was feeling that way, and what that song did for me. And it took me to a space. It took me a space of like, your ass ain't giving up,
Right.
right? And my moms would have said that. We don't give up. That's not what we do. What do you think is? So in
Absolutely.
saying that, I guess we're at the end of our segment. What are your final thoughts here? You know, you shared a song. I guess final thoughts. Who would you recommend this song to in a certain situation per se, right? Like something they might be going through. This is a great song for you to check, right? I love that you mentioned the song. I'll put it in our descriptions and such. I need to check it out myself as well. Um, but final thoughts here for Healing Through Gospel Part Two. What are your thoughts?
I would say when you listen to that song, listen to it with an open heart. And with that open heart, go back to your memory and realize how we as human beings treat people with the words that come out of our mouth. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But understand that words do have power, and it's up to you if your power is going to be for good or for evil. But it's only up to you to know. So tread lightly with the words that you speak out of your mouth.
Love it, Ruth. As usual, Ruth is dropping gems. She's part of the Dropping Gems crew. I say this for all my folks who come deliver messages and drop the gems. Big ups to you. I appreciate you for doing this segment with me. I can talk gospel music with you all day, every day, whenever you want. We might have to even do a part three, and I might have to invite a couple people because they were a little jealous that I tell them about the Healing Through Gospel part two. They'll get over it because we'll do a part three, Ruth, and get some more people to talk about this beautiful music that really supports us spiritually, right? In such an amazing way. And you said a key thing there of the openness to it. Just open yourself to it, and you will find the true gems in it. So everybody, you know what this means. This is our Healing Through Gospel segment. Thank you for coming through. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment so you can continue to get these gems because we will come every week with these gems. And you know what? Check out the song. Check out the song. Words, right? Words. Check out the song. Because I think part of why we do these segments, beyond just being able to talk about an amazing, uplifting thing that is called music that provides a space for people to heal through, we're also sharing why it connects to us and how it can connect to you. And that is the true message of this. So, you know what my last question for you is? It is, who is helping you heal? Take care of yourself because you are the star player. And we will see you on the next round. Peace.